Oh, it's another beautiful day in O-Town, Scottsdale. This is the Arts District on East Main Street off of Scottsdale Road, and delightful little gallery here. The Estate and Consignment Fine Art Gallery is open on this 4th of July weekend 2022. And with the reflections on the glass, it's hard to see the Salvador Dali next to a Wilfredo lamb. And as we come in, we'll see a Vasily Kafanov, one of the artists represented here who's alive in New York State. He's Russian, of course, but he's producing a massive amount of work, quite prolific. And Portocarraro, distinctive style after distinctive style. Of course, you figured out Jean-Michel Basquiat, a Marguerite, and Leroy Neiman's unmistakable style. It's right next to a Juan Miró, and that's next to a Fernand Lager. Just crazy, beautiful pieces. Juan Gris and Pablo Picasso's here, and we're just gonna go around a who's who. Edgar Degas. And you'd recognize the style of this fabulous artist, Remedios Varo. She just had such a distinctive outlook on the surrealistic life. Magdaliani, the elongated neck, and the puzzle-like beauty of the Jean de Buffets. Another Vasily Kafanov. I'm going to just do a little sweep of this delightful, charming gallery of exquisite fine art. And here's another Tamara de Lempicka. Absolutely gorgeous. Next to a Moreau, Henri Matisse. And we have, I would love to show the Frida Kahlo. And down further you will see it, Diego Rivera. And we're loving the Picassos next to Keith Haring's unmistakable work, Edward Hopper study, and it goes on and on. The exquisite work, Brel Dufy, another Keith Haring piece, right next to a Marc Chagall. And here at Estate and Consignment Fine Art, we don't say with 100% certainty that any piece is genuine. We have no guarantee that it is, but we feel great about the collection that came from a very beautiful nearby Silverleaf's Billionaires Row estate, and it was featured in a Phoenix Home and Garden magazine that we like to keep on the podium here. Just a wonderful article on where many of these pieces came from, where they lived for a while. This little David Teniers the Younger is quite beautiful, and I'll get to some of those paintings in a second. Peter Max, German artist, of course, the Beatles' Yellow Submarine days in the 60s, and he's still around near Lincoln Center there in Manhattan. Wassily Kandinsky. Oh, no collection is complete without a Kandinsky. Absolutely beautiful. Jean de Buffet again. Just gorgeous texture, like he always has that wonderful texture on his paintings. Paul Klee, the simplicity of his abstracts, and another Marguerite with the unmistakable cloth on human heads there. And oh my goodness, it just goes on and on. Gary Schwartzberg. And another Moreau study. And who could not recognize Edvard Munch from Master Painted the Scream, his most famous painting. Another Vasily Kafanov. A Tamayo, Rafio de Mayo, unmistakably lovely, again with the texture that just jumps out. And it is just a delightful gallery representing Henry Faulkner here. And the estate had to wait a couple years because of COVID, so they're quite open to offers. And the paintings have been selling very well. The ones with the 100% firm provenance went to Sothebys and Christies, and this is the yard sale, if you want to call it that, leftover Marc Chagall and a Picasso. I'm upside down on that, but a Harlequin piece, of course, he was known for. Jean de Buffet again, black and white puzzle type piece. There's that other Tamara de Olympica. Unmistakable. Leroy Neiman, Bethesda Fountain in Central Park in New York City on 72nd Street that goes through Central Park. Lovely collection of Sir Winston Churchill. You gotta be kidding me. He did these wonderful watercolors and oils. There's a big oil on canvas. For its protection, we have it under glass temporarily. And these were from a big portfolio of Sir Winston Churchill. And the lovely landscape from Victor Hugo. And he was part of Andy Warhol's factory, and Halston's partner, quite flamboyant, genius with paintbrush. Here's another watercolor from Victor Hugo down this way. And did I just pass a Magritte? The unmistakable bolo hat, apple. Oh yes, oh yes. It's to be an oil on canvas. Study, Jackson Pollock study. And it just goes on and on. Here's that Diego Rivera. We had looked at a quick glance at a Frida Kahlo, and here's the Diego Rivera piece. Another Jean-Michel Basquiat with his father's certificate of authenticity, and typical the way he would sign the back. 400, perhaps 375-year-old oil on wood panel by David Teniers the Younger, one of the finest collections on the planet. Those have been selling rapidly for good reasons. People just fall in love with those. And these are big reproductions in the back that are quite lovely. Artists Unknown, great reproduction, the Bruegel School, and Toulouse-Lautrec. Could have been knocking back a couple absents. Why painting that beauty? Moreau from Caracas Museum down in Venezuela, that came. Henry Faulkner, of course. What a character. He would bring a bourbon drinking goat to art openings, and almost everywhere he went he had his alcoholic goat. Jean Dufay, Paris scene. Absolutely exquisite. Marc Chagall. It's really quite the lesson in art history when you come in here from the more pop artists like Andy Warhol of the 60s right up through the 80s. And the Cubists. You'll have Andre Lahote, just quintessential Cubism. Fernand Lager again. Jean de Buffet next to a Van Dongen, another Peter Max, and I gotta slow down for Edna Heibel out of Boston. What a great painter in that classic wash and back, then the detailed face of the peasants working in the field. Just absolutely gorgeous. And they're open to offers. These executors want to wrap up this estate in the next few years. It's a lot of artwork. It's going to take time, but they are accepting some pretty silly offers here. Another Henry Faulkner that had the drinking goat. Oh, just love these Basquiats. Should have my white cotton gloves on to take a look at back, but most of the paintings have partial provenance. This has a Museum of Modern Art and a Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Met. It's got the certification from his dad, Gerard, who passed away. And I'll tell you, it just is delightful. Every time I come in here, they are rotating these paintings so nicely. Marc Chagall, I gotta go around and look at this Edward Hopper. You gotta be kidding. Just lovely painting after lovely painting. And there's a scene that's from, I believe it's Nyack, New York, Nyack, New Jersey, Nyack. I think it's Nyack, New York. Just a crazy great landscape. Paul Klee again represented here. And yes, it is a special fine art gallery. And you can go online, and that'll be estateandconsignmentfineart.com, and you will find exquisite paintings for unbelievably hard to beat prices. And of course, you can't really see that. Trying to focus on that. That's not going to happen, but in any event, there are sketchbooks from Pablo Picasso. Of course, the originals in safety, and this is just prints from an actual sketchbook from around the beginning of the 20th century. It's crazy. Look how Basquiat, another French painter here. And you gotta come and visit right here in the Arts District in Scottsdale. USA Fine Art and Consignment. Fine Art USA.